Alright, so let me talk a little bit now about why I don't get angry, because it's been mentioned to me that I don't get angry, and I've kind of talked about it a little bit before, but I've had time to think about why that is, and I think I understand why I don't get angry. Now, to be clear, it's not that I never ever get angry. Of course, I do get angry at times or pissed off and things like that, but it's kind of a rare occasion that I get angry or pissed off at something. And I believe I understand why that is now. And it's kind of sad, but it's also kind of necessary. So what I think it comes down to is that a while ago now, like probably good years ago now, I just stopped expecting things from people. I just stopped expecting things. Because I think a lot of times we expect things from people, but those things were never promised to us. So one of the things I see a lot, driving around is, people getting angry on the road. Somebody cut you off. Somebody drove out at a giveaway when they were supposed to wait for you. Things like that. People driving too close. And then you're getting angry. People get angry, smacking their horns, shouting, swearing. And none of that is good, by the way. I'm not saying you should, ignore stop signs or ignore giveaways. Of course, don't do that. That's a bad thing and it's very dangerous. But at the same time, as an individual, as one person in a world of billions, to expect that I'm going to go out in my car and drive to where I'm going to and absolutely everything is going to go the way I want it to go just seems unrealistic. Why expect that? Why have that expectation? I kind of expect that somebody is going to do something stupid. Somebody is going to do something dangerous. I expect that to happen. And when it happens, it is what it is. You slow down, you just let them do what they're doing. I'm not saying it's a good thing that they're doing those things. Like I said, it is dangerous, but at the same time, I expect it to happen. And just in general, like in life, when, people get angry that somebody hasn't done something, like somebody didn't ask them their opinion on something, or they didn't consider them for an opportunity that they expected to get. And it's like, well, that was never promised to you. Why would you expect them to consider you for these opportunities when that was never promised to you? You know what I mean? Sure, it sucks that you didn't get considered for that opportunity. I ain't saying that. And of course, you're allowed to, feel bad about it, whatever, but why get angry? That was never promised to you. A lot of these things I think we get angry about are things that we're expecting that were never actually promised. No one ever came to us and said, this is what's going to happen. They were never promised to us. So why get angry that it didn't happen? You know what I mean? So that's kind of like where I sit with that. I can't allow myself to get angry over things, over people doing things or not doing things or whatever it may be that was never promised to me. You know what I mean? It just seems, why expend that energy on that? Things are not going to go your way, and that's kind of the sad reality. Like when you go out into the world, you have your hopes and dreams. We all do, right? But the sad reality is that vast majority of things won't go your way. And I think the only thing you should expect is that things won't go your way, so that you could be prepared for when they don't. So when things don't go your way, whether it's a small thing or a big thing, you're emotionally prepared for that. So rather than getting angry, it's like, okay, this is what I'm now going to do. This thing didn't go my way, now I do this. Rather than being mad, shouting, pissed off, ranting and raving, that he didn't do this, they didn't do that, they did this, they did that, they did. It's like, well, wait a minute. How much of this was actually promised to you? And I think the answer is going to be very little or none, right? So for me, it's just been, don't expect things that were never promised to you. And quite frankly, if you're going to expect anything, expect things won't go your way. And if they do go your way, then great, awesome. But when they don't, and they probably won't, you're prepared for it, and you just know what you're going to do next. So yeah, that's, I don't know if that's advice, but it seems to be working for me at least. So there you go. All right. So yeah, by the way, just kind of an addendum. So when I say don't expect anything, that's not the same as accept everything. You don't have to get angry that somebody behaves in some bullshit way, because end of the day, you were never promised that they weren't going to behave in some bullshit way. So you don't have to get angry about it. But that doesn't mean you have to accept it. There's certain people that you just need to remove from your life, whether that's you stop hanging around with them, or if that's not possible, you just limit your interactions as much as possible, because you get better at the things you practice doing. So if you're allowing yourself to get angry over things you can't control, that means you are practicing getting angry over things you can't control, and you will just get better at getting angry over things you can't control. If you let it go, understand that people are going to do what people are going to do, and just focus on doing what you need to do to get to where you want to be, then you'll get better at just cutting through all the nonsense.